Senator Rand Paul joins us right now, who is a doctor. Senator, has he changed your mind?
Well, you see what his argument is. His argument is what if? It's what if these people can spread it? And my response is show me the evidence, show me the proof, show me that people are transmitting this who have gotten vaccinated. And there is no proof of that. In fact, the vaccine's doing very well. There's been almost no hospitalizations of someone who's been vaccinated. There's been almost no deaths, I think 0 deaths from people getting COVID after vaccination. So they're arguing that you might be able to transmit it. And all I'm saying is if you want me to wear a mask for 2 more years or 3 more years or for the rest of my life, why don't you show me evidence? Why shouldn't the burden be on the government to show us evidence that we are still somehow transmitting this? And you notice what he slipped in there at the end, which is the real truth. It's about civility. And so he thinks it's no big deal, but people's livelihoods are being lost. I mean, restaurants are closing down. I don't know that it's being civil to have an empty booth between me and the next person. If it doesn't work, why are we doing it?
Absolutely. When you see cities that shut down or states that get shut down, have worse numbers than the ones that are open, like Florida and Texas, you wonder what's really going on. Now, this should back up what you've been saying. How about the 3 to 6 feet? For the longest time, if you ask anybody how far you should stay away, they say 6 feet. Well, upon further review, we asked Dr. Scott Gottlieb that. Here's what he said.
The 6-foot distancing requirement has probably been the single costliest mitigation tactic that we've employed as a result of COVID, in response to COVID. And it really wasn't based on clear science. We implemented it early on based on an assumption that coronavirus was going to spread like influenza. It probably caused us to underestimate the utility of high-quality masks in reducing transmission. It probably caused us to overestimate the impact of distancing the 6 feet.
Oops. You realize how many schools have been shut down because of that?
But here's the interesting point. If you listen carefully to what he was saying, he actually thinks it probably should have been like 20 feet because the science says at 6 feet it doesn't help anything. The other thing that was interesting about what he said quality masks. And everybody skips over this. Cloth masks don't work. The N95 masks work. You won't see a doctor in a hospital going into a COVID patient's room with a cloth mask because they don't want to get the disease. And yet half of the country's running around with Fauci wearing a bunch of cloth masks all over his face saying they work, when in reality he knows they don't work. And it's about civility, submission, and it's about having you do what you're told without thinking or questioning the state.
The other thing is questioning is about vaccines. And when you talk about what the Trump administration did, we thought everyone knew that happened under the Trump administration. Evidently, people are unsure of that. They also said that President Trump forgot to order more vaccines after he made the one. That is folly on its face. But everyone let President Joe Biden get away with it. Not yesterday. To Margaret Brennan's great credit on Face the Nation, she asked him and let him answer.
America had no real plan to vaccinate most of the country. My predecessor failed to order enough vaccines, failed to mobilize the effort to administer the shots, failed to set up vaccine centers. That changed the moment we took office.
Is that fair?
I think that's a very negative description of the reality. I do think that we had plans, and in fact, 90% of what's happening now is the plan that we had.
Come on, Senator. Everyone knows they had to order everything ahead of time. It took great financial risk with our money, and it was a great reward. We got a vaccine. To say there were no plans is just wrong. He knows that, and President Biden said it anyway.
As much as the left wants a completely different narrative, history is going to record that there was a miracle that occurred in getting this vaccine. Interestingly, they had the vaccine within a week or 2 of getting the disease. They had the disease 5 days later. They knew the RNA of the disease, and then they had a vaccine within a month. A miracle. But then we only got it within 9 months because President Trump and his administration busted heads over at the FDA and got them to approve it in record time. But this is going to be recorded right up there with a lot of the other vaccine miracles. Polio, the competition for the polio vaccine with Salk and Sabin, Edward Jenner. This is going to be right up there, but it's been lost in politics because people hate President Trump so much they're unwilling to give him any credit.
And there is, Senator, the issues where the rubber hits the road between your parties. This was not one of them. He went out of his way to create more division between Republicans and Democrats for no reason. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.